Hello and welcome to another episode of It Came From The Page. And today, yes, if you're looking at this and you're wondering why has he got a piece of toilet paper, it's because in the process of making this video I cut my hand and I had to stop the bleeding. Anyways, do not worry about it. It's fine, it's fine. I don't know if I'll get demonetized because of minor blood. Whatevs, who needs money? Not me. Actually, I do. But today we're doing my old school April video explanation for the Watch-A-Thon prompts. And I am going to be showcasing a bunch of VHSs and Laserdiscs that fit every single prompt. Whoa! So first off, the only one that I don't have that is Nightmare on Elm Street, which is to watch a slasher movie or a movie that could give you nightmares. Now, of course, I could have gone with a movie that would give you nightmares. I own plenty of those. I live a nightmare. Everything in modern history is a nightmare, it seems. But I went with the slasher movie, and I bought a slasher movie called Offerings from 1989 on VHS, because that was the only way I could find it. Offerings from 1989 is basically a shot-for-shot ripoff of Halloween. And you might be like, why do you want to watch that? And I'm like, I don't know, it sounds interesting. Might as well. So I have two things that I have an offer for offerings. I have on one VHS on eBay, but if that one doesn't go through, there's another one that's way cheaper that I might buy. But that one's only the only the VHS. But regardless, whatever. Unsolved mysteries. We're going from top to bottom, by the way, and you might be like, why are you doing that? It says because I made the pile accidentally top to bottom. It's fine. Number 16 is Unsolved Mysteries. Watch a movie with a mystery element. For this, I chose the movie Outland. It's a movie that takes place on Jupiter's moon. He's the only law. And it's like, whoa, what's going on Jupiter's moon? It's gotta be pretty crazy if a shotgun-toting Sean Connery is on the cover. So yeah, I meant to watch this movie for ages. It's supposed to kind of be very similar to Alien. There is no aliens in it, though. It is pretty much a straight-up sci-fi movie. But it looks beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I think it would be perfect, because it's a mystery as to what's going on Jupiter. Whoa! Next up is The Lost Boys, which is to watch a movie featuring vampires. Now, vampires, those are the guys that go, hing, and suck your blood. They go, hing, and suck your blood. I didn't think I need to explain what unsolved mysteries are, because I believe that if you are looking for a mystery thing, you know what a mystery is, and you can figure that one out. All of these do not actually have to be old school picks. You could even watch new movies. You could watch The Glass Onion, or whatever that sequel to that one movie that was on Netflix and I never watched it was. That was a mystery. And it's also a mystery as to what movie I'm talking about. I could put it up, but I won't. The Lost Boys, vampires, those are the things that go and suck your blood. So for this I chose Vamp. This is a weird movie. I watched it last year for Old School April, and I had a good time. It is a vampire, wonderfully played by Grace Jones, who I always knew from Have You to Kill, the James Bond movie. But she did a whole bunch of stuff, and she was this vampire in the 80s. Vamp is a wonderfully weird movie, and at one point, she's topless, and she's got like these weird spiral boobs. I just thought that would be important to know. Crocodile Hunter. Now, Crocodile Hunter was that person who's like, danger, danger, danger. And that's watching a movie featuring an animal or animals. Now, of course, this can be any type of animals. We could consider a dragon an animal. And in that vein, I was like, oh, Carnosaur 2, bitch. Carnosaur 2. It's a movie that's a sequel to the movie Carnosaur. This one is less of a ripoff of Jurassic Park and is more of a ripoff of the movie Aliens. It's also got this lady. Look at this lady. Who is she? She's not in the movie, but she's there. Don't know much about her. I watched this one for Old School April last year too. Very, very fun. And, filled. But you could watch Homeward Bound. You could watch anything for this. It's very simple. Animals, I assume you know what they are. If you don't, I don't know what to do for you, my friend. Google it. Space Jam is your chance in the Space Jam. Space Jam sucks. I don't like Space Jam. I don't mind the original Space Jam as a kid, but Space Jam New Legacy was a crime against cinema, and it was awful. I also don't really like sports movies, but this is watch a movie featuring sports or a physical activity. A physical activity, that's when you're like up, you're walking, you're doing things. Sports are a thing where you play against another person or yourself. If you're playing darts, is darts a sport? Anyways, it's a competition to win a thing. So in that regard, with like a set of rules, why am I explaining sports? Who's watching this and needs to know what sports is? I don't know why. I titled this video, even though I'm filming it before I title it, the explanation of the Watch-A-Thon prompts, but they're all very, very obvious. I don't know why I'm doing this video. No one's going to like it. Anyways, my favorite sport is the sport with two robots fighting in a gladiatorial arena. This is Robo Warriors. Robo Warriors. This is actually a distribution and promotion copy, so they were not supposed to sell it, but somebody sold it to me. So yeah, if you don't know about it's not Robot Warriors, it's Robo Warriors. This is a movie where two robots, they fight in a gladiatorial arena, and I'm pretty sure it's like to replace wars. They're like, yo, we don't want to do wars anymore, so we're just going to have two giant robots fight each other and punch each other. It might not be about war, but whatever, it's a sport because it's a gladiatorial arena. And sports take place in arenas, gladiatorial arenas. I'm not a sportsman's man, but if I was, I would do the play-by-play for the movie Robo Warriors. Robo Warriors, the greatest film of all time. Britpop/British invasion. So if you don't know, when the British invaded what we now call America, sorry. That's a reference to in the 80s how there was a lot of British culture seeping over into North American culture. That other thing I was talking about is not related, but kind of is. This is Watch a Movie directed by a British director. Now, if you don't know what British is, or it's me, I'm a British man, if they talk like that, they're British. Britain is a place some people call the United Kingdom, the UK. It's located on a map. You probably know about it, or you don't. But if you do know about it, you know that they made a lot of movies there. And one of the movies they directed was this movie called The Ice Pirates. I've never seen The Ice Pirates, but I want to, because it looks good. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but, like, where's the ice? Well, they're like ice pirates, but I don't see no ice. Okay, this does not look like an ice planet. This looks like... Well, certainly there's no barbarians here, so it can't be an ice planet. But I like this guy's face. I like this face. He's going like, whoa! He's got a cool face. So, Ice Pirates. Those British, they invaded, and they made this, and it got to your screens. My God. Watch a Tim Carrey movie. Now, Tim Carrey is a masterful actor. He has multiple roles in both voice talents for like animated films, and he's also been in so many wonderful, wonderful movies. One of the host recs, which is the movie called Legend, which is a movie I don't really like that much, but I do love Tim Curry's performance as the devil in that movie. That is awesome. It's just everything else in that movie is lame. So it's like whenever Tim Curry as the devil is not on screen, I'm like, boring. Why do I care about Tom Cruise? He's lame. Give me Tim Curry. And yeah, so he's a devil in that movie. I don't own many Tim Curry movies on either Laserdisc or VHS, which was a worrying thing until I looked into his IMDb and I discovered Tim Curry was in The Shadow, starring Alec Baldwin, which I own on Laserdisc. If you don't know what Laserdiscs are, they were like DVDs, but giant. They look like record size, and you had to flip them over. They were really cool, and they were much better than VHS, but like all the people were like, oh, we love VHS, oh, VHS was the best. But Laserdiscs were actually a bajillion times better. Sometimes they had commentaries. Anyways, they were large, and you flip them over. And yeah, in this movie, is Alec Baldwin movie. I don't feel very comfortable looking at Alec Baldwin with two guns anymore. So let's flip that over. But yeah, Tim Curry is in this movie. I've never seen this movie, but Tim Curry is in it, so I might watch it one day. One day I might. Next up is watch a Jim Carrey movie. Now, this is the only prompt I couldn't complete. But I do have the next best thing. If you went back in time and went to your local Blockbuster and you were like, hey, man, you got any of those Truman shows? You want to, like, rent one of them, please? And then, like, the guy would be like, well, we're actually, like, all out of Truman shows, but we do have a copy of Ed TV, which is, like, basically the same movie. So, yeah, this is the Ron Howard movie, Ed TV, which has a very similar plot. Very similar plot. Look at the cast. This could almost be a prequel to True Detective. This is what they were doing before, like, they were solving crimes on True Detective, the television show. Yeah, so it's like some guy named Ed. He gets a TV show, and it's Ed TV. So yeah, so back in the day, if you were like, "Ooh, I want to watch that new hit movie Truman Show," oftentimes a patient would be like, "Nah, bitch, but we got Ed TV." And it's me. I'm the bitch. Next up is Camp Crystal Lake. So camps are a thing that people go into for either the summer or the winter. Sometimes you set up a tent. Sometimes you go glamping, and you got like an RV. So this is watch a movie set at a summer camp. This is the Camp Crystal Lake prompt. Now, Camp Crystal Lake is, of course, from Friday the 13th. Or as it is supposed to be, a kiki, a ma, but that is an entirely different discussion. And the only person who got it wrong is me, so whatevs. So this is a movie set at a summer camp. I worked at a summer camp for a while. It was not a good job, but I got paid very little for it, so that is good. And I decided to watch the movie Meatballs 2. Meatballs Part 2. Sorry, it's not Meatballs 2. It's Meatballs Part 2. So the original Meatballs is not a good movie, but people like to say it is. It is one of the worst Bill Murray movies. I don't like Meatballs. I do not like the movie Meatballs, but I do like the movie Meatballs Part 2, presumably. I've never seen it. You might be like, Andrew, why do you own Meatballs Part 2? And you'd be like, so back in the day, I was trying to write a book on movie sequels, and I wanted to get all of these random movie sequels on VHS. So every time I went to an old thrift store and I found a movie sequel, I would buy it. So that's how I ended up with Meatballs Part 2. But apparently there's aliens in this. So that's cool. Meatballs Part 2. This time with aliens. And that probably just makes it better. It's better than the original, and I've not watched I've never seen it. Next up is Liquid Dreams. I don't know what this is a reference to. Liquid Dreams. I don't know. Where this prompt goes, I'm concerned as to what it means. But anyways, watch a movie or show starring a nostalgic crush of yours. Now, a crush is somebody you want to date. They can be anybody. They could be the fox from the Robin Hood movie in the Disneys. They could be a dog that looks suspiciously like Richard Gere. They could be anything. You could have a crush on a piece of paper. Because you'd be like, oh, it's the prettiest paper ever and I want to marry it. There you go. It's a crush. My crush back in the day, and it is still a classic film. A film of such quality, it surpasses Citizen Kane. This is the Lizzie McGuire movie starring Hilary Duff. Classic film. Look at it. It's even got these cool... Look at this. It's even got like a cool little blue. Ooh, it's got like a blue there. That's how you know it's good. So the Lizzie McGuire movie. The Lizzie McGuire was a show, and then they made a movie out of it where she goes to Italy, and when she's in Italy, she meets this guy named Paolo, and he's like, I'm Paolo, and he sucks. Nobody likes Paolo. Paolo is the worst. My last words will be, fuck you, Paolo, and then I'll die. So she meets a Italian star who looks exactly like her, And she briefly takes her place for a while until it's discovered Paolo is being evil. So that's all I'm going to tell you, but it's a thrill ride. It takes place in Italy. They do at one point, they ride the little scooters, the little... I don't remember what they're called, but they ride them. They ride them. Next up is watch a newer movie or show that is set in the 70s, 80s, 90s, or early 2000s. Now, the closest I can get to this is this 2000 VHS, sealed VHS for the movie Turbulence 3, Heavy Metal. I've not seen Turbulence 1 or 2, and definitely haven't seen Turbulence 3. But it was made in the year 2000, and, you know, that's a Gen Z. This movie is like basically a Gen Z kid. So, you know, it's new. That's new. It's new. It's newer. It's newer. And it, of course, is set in the early 2000s. So, next up is watch an adaptation or remake of an old school book, movie, or show. So the oldest of old is Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, that majestic detective of yore. And you know, I've always thought the one man who could play Sherlock Holmes is Charlton Heston. Always. From as soon as I learned Sherlock Holmes existed, I was like, you know who would do that? Whoa! Charlton Heston. If you don't know who Charlton Heston is, don't look him up. He was not a good man. But at one point he did get mad because the apes blew up the Statue of Liberty. He was like, "You damn dirty apes! You maniacs! You blew it up!" So yeah, he did that once. And then apparently someone was like, "Ah, yes, Charlton Heston, that amazing actor of class and dry wit. He could definitely play Sherlock Holmes." Such a dumb movie. Also sealed. There was a brief time where people thought that sealed VHSs would be worth money. It was basically all just a hack and a con job. But I tried to sell it during that time, and no one was interested in the Crucifer of Blood on VHS sealed. And I'm like, you're missing out on a classic. Next up is... watch a movie set in a mall. So now, kids, a mall was a thing that we used to go to in order to hang out with friends. It was a building, was a large building, and inside the building there was a whole bunch of stores. And you go into the stores and you're like, whoa. And if you were a cool kid in the whatevs, you would hang out there and see your friends and stuff and be like, ooh, I'm at the mall and I'm at the juice stand and I'm running away from the evil robots that are chasing me. Because as you know, or if you don't know, all malls back in the day were securityed by evil robots, like in the movie Chopping Mall. That is actually a documentary. Another movie that is actually a documentary is Mannequin 2, On the Move. Now, I've never seen Mannequin 1. Mannequin 2 is another movie that I own because of that sequel book that I was trying to write, and I never finished. I've never seen Mannequin 2, but it starts out at a department store, and a mannequin comes to life. So, a department store, a mall, you know. Next up is watch an animated movie. So as you know, I have a very high standard for animated movies. It has to surpass those trivial Disney films of yore. They need to be something that is unforgettable, unlike that trash being made at Disney. So I have the Mighty Kong. This is one of the worst movies ever made. It's awful. It's completely awful. It is... Oh my god. The music in this, awful. And the reason why I bought this is because this was a screening copy of this movie. And everywhere that I have watched the movie online, which I have multiple times because I like to punish myself. That's why I'm wearing a Hellraiser shirt. Pinhead showed up and he's like, we must give you the suffering of your life. You must watch The Mighty Kong more than once. No! But I did, and anyways. So The Mighty Kong is a movie, and it's an animated movie, And it does have the voice of Little Mermaid, Jodie Benson, and Dudley Moore. But all the songs are very bad. It's animated very poorly, and is just awful. Awful trash. Awful trash, but it is animated. So if you don't know what an animated movie is, it's like if there was a bunch of pictures, and then you go, and you see the picture go, that's the easiest way to explain animation. Could also be 3D animation, which is done in the computers. Oh, hello, Blueberry. Wow. I love you, Blueberry. Next up is Watch a Host recommendation. Now this is where I was struggling. I was like, oh no, this, because I don't own any of the host recs on VHS or Laserdisc. And then I was like, but wait, come here, Blueberry. I don't know how well this camera goes, but I was like, but wait. So there is a movie on the host recs called Everything is Terrible, the movie, which is one of the host recs by Cameron Chaney from Library Macabre, and that is a compilation of a bunch of VHS clips. So I watched the movie, and I was going forward, like frame by frame, trying to find one of these movies that I owned. I was like, I gotta own one of these. Like one movie that was in this compilation, I have to own. It's all about trashy VHS movies. I gotta own it. It's gotta be somewhere. It's gotta be somewhere. And lo and behold, there was a brief moment where they showed the opening of King Kong Lives when Linda Hamilton has to give King Kong heart surgery. Which is a real thing that happens in that movie. King Kong gets heart surgery. I'm sorry. It's dumb every time I say it. Yes, King Kong gets heart surgery in this movie, and it's wonderful. And there's also a Lady Kong, and she's got big gazongas, and you're like, why is this movie a thing that was made by humans? But I don't know why, but it was quite a film, and it does star Linda Hamilton of Terminator fame. And yeah, it's directed by John Gillerman. And he's directed some movies that are good. This is not one of them, but I do love this ridiculous King Kong movie. So really, you could say Cameron Chaney recommended you all watch King Kong's heart surgery. I mean, you do see it in Everything is Awful, the movie, so... Sorry, it's Everything is Terrible, the movie. Everything is Awful is just the story of my life. Real World. Watch any movie released before 2005. The Valley of Gwangi. Why did I pick the Valley of Gwangi? Well, because, as you can see, when I make the thumbnail for this, I'm going to have the face of Jim Carrey coming out of right here. I'm going to edit this so it looks like Jim Carrey is coming out of the Valley of Gwangi's butt. That's what we call inspiration. I'm going to find out I didn't even press record. So the last one is to watch a nostalgic TV show released before 2005. So this is called TV Guide. The Real World is the movie before 2005. And The Real World was a thing that was a reality show that I didn't watch. So I can't tell you much about it. And I couldn't really tell you much about The Real World either. I live in my house and I never leave. So TV Guide, which is watch any nostalgic TV show released before 2005. So this is Kamen Rider X. It is a show from the 70s that was released in Japan, and there is no English subtitles on this, but this is the show that features Starfish Hitler. And if there's one thing I don't like about Hitler, it's everything. But there's one thing I don't like about the sea, it's starfishes. So as soon as you combine them two, you've got the most evil creature of all time, Starfish Hitler. No, stay away from me. Stay away. Stay away. Anyways, I just want to put Starfish Hitler in a thumbnail, so that's why I picked this show. But this show is pretty good. It's Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider is a Japanese superhero who is reminiscent of Power Rangers for the easiest way to talk about it in modern terms. But he predates the Power Rangers and is a superhero of his own right. So this is Kamen Rider X, which I believe is it the 5th? I don't know why I looked in the back. I was like, oh, it's all in Japanese. I was like, oh, I'll just suddenly learn how to read Japanese. I can't. But anyways, it was like a very early Kamen Rider. And he defeated Starfish Hitler. He's the greatest hero that's ever lived. Speaking of the great hero that ever lived, you could follow the other people involved in Old School April. Thank you guys for watching this video, and have yourself a good day. Ow. Bye. Toodaloo.